I'm going to go ahead and review the lesson 7-2 angles and the unit circle. We're going to be looking at 14 through 17. This is coming from page 407 in your textbook. If you don't have the textbook, I do have a PDF copy of this in Focus. When you log into Focus, click on the course name. It is under the tab titled Topic 7 Test Review. We are going to be doing find a positive angle measure for each reference angle. Before we jump into the problems, let's review what a reference angle is. So these are coming from your 7-2 notes. Reference angle for any angle theta in standard position is the positive acute angle. Remember, acute is between 0 and 90 degrees between the terminal side of theta and the x-axis. Remember, the initial side always lies on the positive x-axis. The terminal side of an angle is what moves around. We go in a positive direction, we go counterclockwise. Reference angles are always positive, and of course they're acute between 0 and 90. And again, emphasize, they are based off of the x-axis. Let's go ahead and do these problems. Looking at number 1, we have a reference angle of 67 degrees in quadrant 1. Okay, so if we're in quadrant 1, we're over here. Let's put in 67 degrees. We'll say it's about here. Okay, so this is 67 degrees. Well, if I'm in quadrant 1, my initial side of theta is on the x-axis. And if I come up over here, this is the terminal side of my angle. So if we are in quadrant 1, your theta is the same as your reference angle and vice versa. Your reference angle is theta. Let's look at number 15. We have a reference angle in quadrant 4, 63 degrees. So if we are in, here's quadrant 4, and now remember again, reference angles are based off of the x-axis. So that means we are 63 degrees, kick it back from 360, 63 degrees away from that positive x-axis, that 360. So let's go ahead and draw that in. This is my reference angle of 63 degrees, which means theta, remember initial side is along the positive x-axis. Here's theta. Theta comes around, and this side of the reference angle is my terminal side of theta. So, how do we figure out what theta equals? Well, if I would have gone a full rotation, I would have gone 360 degrees, but I didn't. I stopped short 63 degrees. So, which means if I want to compute theta, theta is going to equal 360 degrees minus my reference angle of 63 degrees, which equals 297 degrees. Let's do another. Looking at 16, we have a reference angle of 25 degrees in quadrant 2. Here's quadrant 2, and again, remember, reference angles are based off of the x-axis. So if I'm in quadrant 2 and my reference angle is 25 degrees, I am before 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and we will draw 25 degrees based off of the x-axis. So here we go. My reference angle is 25 degrees. Now theta, again, initial side is always over here. So here comes theta, comes around counterclockwise. And this is the terminal side of theta. This right here is my angle theta. So now to calculate the measurement of theta, Well, if I would have gone 25 degrees further, I would have hit 180 degrees, but I didn't. I got to backtrack it. So what we'll do is we will take 180 degrees minus my reference angle of 25 degrees, and that is going to give me a measurement of 155 degrees. And let's do one more. Number 17, we have a reference angle of 14 degrees in quadrant 3. Here's quadrant 3. Again, basing it off of the x-axis, which means I'm coming down from 180 degrees an additional 14 degrees. So we're going to call this 14 degrees. You might not be completely to scale. It's okay. So here's my reference angle, 14 degrees. And again, here's theta. Initial side, theta comes around, and here is the terminal side of theta. So what is the measurement of theta? Well, if I went around, here's 180 degrees, and then I moved an additional 14 degrees. So theta will equal 180 plus 14 degrees. And that will give me a measurement of 194 degrees.